Welcome, dear friends. We are here with our author, Grandmaster Gumularz from Poland, and the modern chess CEO, Grandmaster Grigorov. Welcome,
Hello.
guys.
Hello, everyone.
All right, yeah. So I think Grigor, you want to ask some question to Szymon, yeah, and his very interesting approach in general also.
First of all, I would like to welcome Szymon for here. It's a great pleasure for us to have him participate in this competition. Personally, I have seen a lot of his games, and I'm quite impressed by his level of play. And I'm very interested to know more about his opening suggestions. But beforehand, I would like to ask him, Szymon, how you found the work on this project. Was it difficult to come up with something interesting against London and Jubava London?
So first of all, thank you so much for having me here in this project. It's a pleasure for me. It's my first experience like this, so it was really exciting. And as for the opening work strictly, I actually was quite confident in my ideas already at the beginning, pretty much, because I chose the variation that I already played over the board. So I sort of knew that it could be a good approach. The tricky part was obviously explaining this in front of camera, the first course experience and all this stuff. But ultimately, I think I'm quite happy with what I come up with. So, yeah.
Yeah, you made a great work. Yeah, it will be very interesting to see. I also
Very
agree.
well. Let's see your suggestions now. First of all, we start with your suggestion against the Jubava London.
Yes.
All right.
So,
What do you? Yeah.
okay, so my suggestion here was to go c5 immediately. So it's a little bit different against the main London, which I chose something less principled, but here c5 I think is the most critical approach. So I obviously covered also the gambit after move e4, which is also kind of trendy. So this I also covered. Here I chose the cd4 and then the main line basically, which I think if you learn with black, it's quite comfortable. Here the line, I don't know if I should say it further,
One move, maybe
because
one extra move, yeah.
One move is
knight,
enough.
knight
Okay.
c6. Obviously, we attack the queen, and it's
And let's also
generally
say that
fine.
CD4 is less common than taking on E4, I believe, yeah?
Yes, but I believe it's a bit more practical because this gambit
Okay.
is dangerous in my opinion if you accept it.
All right, very interesting. And against the main line E3, what is your approach?
My approach here is simply to take on d4. It takes d4 and then a6.
Very important
So
move, yeah, because a lot of people lost games like this, I believe, yeah?
yes. I mentioned this already in my video. Yes. Knight c6 is a mistake. So it's easy to remember also this move a6. I think this position is practical for black for this reason that if white doesn't play the most principled way, so let's go knight f3 is an obvious move, I think, for white. Knight c6 now with black. So if white goes simply like bishop e2 or bishop to d3 here, I think black has a very comfortable game with bishop g4, followed by e6 and then bishop d6 and short castle. In this position, we have sort of a typical structure for London, but the knight on c3 is really misplaced. White would always want to have the pawn here. So I think in this sort of position, black is already maybe slightly better right now.
Yeah,
so yeah, I mentioned this obviously, but in my course, I was mainly considering move knight f3, knight c6, and then knight to e5 because that's critical. At higher level now, bishop f5 is inaccurate because of g4. So here we have to do something a little bit more creative with black. So I chose the line bishop to d7, which is a little bit maybe weird to look for the first sight. It's a bit awkward, but our idea is simply to go like e6 and then rook c8. And the idea of behind the move bishop d7 is to always recapture this knight on c6 with the bishop. So we are not really touching our structure. We want to keep our structure intact and then concentrate on piece development.
So
And
basically,
here
it's a
once
move
again,
against
I
the
think
structure, yeah? Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. That was
Mhm.
my point because other move than bishop d7 is obviously e6, which is I think also possible line to play. However,
Mhm.
it's a little bit after knight takes c6,
It's
bc6.
a new structure,
There
yeah.
is a there is a trendy line like knight a4, keeping this pawn on c6, disallowing us to go c5. And here I think those positions are a little bit easy to play for white, let's say. Not bad, obviously, for black also, okay, but very easy plan for white here. So I think
All right, I
this
think we shouldn't go deeper, yeah, because you already revealed a lot of your secrets, yeah?
Yes.
Let's go
yes.
for the classical London. This one was very interesting, I believe, because, yeah, you avoid the structure, which is the main thing, yeah? All
Mhm.
right, yeah. Okay, so let's see about the classical London now. What is your recommendation?
So here my recommendation was to simply go e6.
Mm-hmm.
I think so, yes. e6, then e3.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only move basically, and then c5.
Okay.
So far, nothing special. The main move at top level, I believe, is knight b2 d2 here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I chose, instead of going for the main line, which is knight c6 or bishop d6, these are the main moves. I chose the
Mm-hmm.
line queen b6, which is obviously putting pressure immediately at our opponent. So I think that's a good part.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the strongest move for white, I believe, is rook b1. And then our idea here is to not develop simply with knight c6, but to do something more creative. If you can see, this bishop on c8 is obviously our weakest piece because it's sort of hitting our own pawns. So I found, okay, I didn't found it obviously, but I know this concept of exchanging the bishop early. So here we go c takes d4
Mm-hmm.
to clarify the structure. After e takes d4, we go bishop to d7. And next move will be bishop to b5, which is basically unstoppable.
Yeah, very
And this
interesting, Simon,
position,
because it's the same line that also Grandmaster Fear offered, but there were two differences. First of all, he plays bishop d7 immediately. And second, I was quite curious that you decided to start with e6, c5, and not c5 immediately, yeah? Can you
yes,
explain these
yes.
two move orders, yeah? Why e6, for example, here, not c5 and then e6?
But I think, I don't know, I'm
Or
pretty
this
sure that
Probably
there
doesn't
is
it
no
matter too
doesn't
much.
make
difference in
too
my
much of a
opinion.
difference, actually.
Yeah, this line is not so critical, yeah? I believe.
Yeah, it is not
So
here with
it's
this move order. Yes, yes, yes.
it's quite flexible, the move order than c5 or e6, yeah? All right.
Yeah,
So
perhaps.
all right, and here so is the main point, yeah? You decided to go for cd4, e4, bishop d7, not bishop d7 immediately, yeah?
Yes.
Yes, this is true. I honestly don't know what's the difference so much, but I believe in my game I also chose c takes d4 because I don't know, perhaps white could take on c5 maybe himself if we go bishop d7 and then b4. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure this line is also fine for black, of course, but I think it's just easier to keep it simple like this with cd4. So
instinctively I also prefer cd4 because I'm afraid that maybe one day you take before, you don't know, yeah?
yes,
But all right.
it's
And
more
in your
foolproof.
opinion, what is the critical approach that white might try against your setup after c takes d4, e takes d4, bishop d7?
So here, yes, this is also a thing that amazed me a little bit because I believe the only critical setup for white involves going h4 very early. So
All
like
right.
c3. Yeah, or c3 first, maybe. This is
Probably
a little
starting
bit
with
too
c3
exotic.
is reasonable, yeah.
Yes, bishop b5. Now we go. And then this move h4 is like the top move for white. So I think this is a good thing because if line like this is critical, I think it's very low chance to see it and lower level. So already that's something good about this. But even here, I didn't find anything too special after, for example, knight b2 d7 and then h5, we answer h6. I explain a lot about those positions in my video. In general, I believe that white at best, maybe he can get slightly better endgame after bishop b5, queen b5, queen e2. However, I don't know, from practical point, I'm not sure
Okay,
if
we're
this
already too
advantage
far, I
is.
believe, yeah? So yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So
All right.
Yeah.
So it will be very interesting, yeah. And in this modern chess challenge, we had only two overlaps, yeah. Once in the Jubava London, once in the London, yeah. and this is the second one, yeah? So you went here, and here you change the direction. So basically you will go CD4 and he goes bishop D7. It will be interesting, yeah?
Yes.
And also I believe for the players, I think it's good because they see that these lines are hot, yeah? Because if two strong grandmasters like our authors, yeah, both suggested one line, it means that it's a good one, yeah?
Yeah.
So I think
what
it's...
I liked in his approach is that it's not so much based on memorization. The pawn structure is fixed. There is already imbalance in the pawn structure. And yeah, you can just play on the understanding without the need to memorize a lot of things.
All right, very interesting. So, Simon, I think you made a great work. It was your first time, I guess. So you were very, very good. You made a great work. I wish you good luck, yeah? Let's see how it goes. And I hope we'll see again in the second step.
Thank you
Maybe
very
soon.
much, Szymon, for your contribution, and good luck in the competition.
Great.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
guys. Thank you, Pierre. Thank you, Grigor. And once again, thank you for having me here. I hope to see you again, hopefully. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.